class, and welcome to ECS 116, Teaching in a Diverse Society. We're week 3, so congratulations, you've made it to week 3 of the course. So by now you should be feeling pretty comfortable with the course structure and layout. I'm hoping that you've made a connection that I have the same system every week where you log in, you review the instructions, which also includes a video on where to locate things, etc. That you go through your readings that are required and any of the supplemental information. I'm just right back here in module 2 kind of outlining that for you. And then you conclude your week Thursday with a post either into the all group discussion board or the small diversity groups, and then adding in this week, since now you're all ready, we're going to be adding in our first assignment. So I've went ahead and closed the Start Here Module 1. So to close it, you can click on the arrow and it will make it smaller. I kind of like to do that so I don't get overwhelmed when I open up Canvas. So we're going to go ahead and go through the first week 3's activities. Know that week 4 is visible and I will be making that invisible after I shut down the video. So when you log in, you won't see that until probably Sunday of next week. So here's our objectives. Module 2 is covering the, let me go back really quick. Module 2 is all about diversity and multicultural education, and we're really going to be exploring the definition of that and what does it mean. So now we're going to go into the objectives. So the module 2 will be open for 2 weeks. It's going to be open through September 17th. So you'll have week 3 activities and then you'll have weeks 4 activities. So after completing the entire module, you will be able to identify ways ethnicity and culture influence people's attitudes about themselves and others. Identify contributions from your own cultural ethnic group as well as other cultural ethnic groups in our diverse society. That did not work. You'll also be able to identify key ideas about diversity and multicultural education and how that looks with young children. So I hope you're seeing a connection here. First, we have to look at our own ethnicity and culture and how that influences us in order for us to see how it influences others. And then we have to look at the bigger piece. How does our cultural identity affect a group? And then how does the group's identity affect myself and the group? And then you can transfer that into your work with children. So we're going to be looking about how diversity and multicultural education, what those key ideas are with young children. I also want to be able to support you in identifying an inclusive language vocabulary. So we'll be introducing terms, and that actually flows throughout the entire course. And then lastly, I want you to be able to identify and analyze your own personal cultural influences, and we're connecting that to Uri Bronfenbrenner's bioecological theory. So if you've taken ECS 101, Child, Family, and Community, which is a core course for us, you spent a lot of time talking about Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory. So I'll have some reminder information for you in the module. So our instructions for just week 3. So here's the video. You can double click on that. It says here that, and actually I need to address that, it's to 9:17. So over week 3, we have these things for you to do here. My mouse is a little tricky. So I want you to read the introduction to chapter 2, and that's in your DECE book, the little yellow book. You're going to read that. And then I want you also to read our National Association for the Education of Young Children's position statement. So we have position statements on lots of different topics in our profession. This one is very specific to culture and linguistic diversity. So I want to make sure you read that. Also, you're going to tour a website, the NAME website, which stands for the National Association for Multicultural Education. There's a lot of really good information and resources on the website. And also, I thought it would be very helpful for you to view a checklist that we can use. It comes from the Roots and Wings book, actually the older version, where you can look at an educational classroom for children and you can determine just what level of diversity and multicultural education are they doing, at what level. And so I'm asking where you don't have to actually go out into the community and do this assignment or this checklist, but I want you to reflect back on classrooms that you've either visited as a parent, a family, friend, or neighbor, that you yourself, when you were younger, one of your classroom environments. And I think it's very telling about just how invisible our culture and our significant contributions that we have as ethnic groups, how they're missing in our classrooms. Either there's one that predominates and others are missing, or it's something stereotypical, which, you know, we assume is a part of culture and ethnicity, and it's not. So I think you'll really like that checklist. It's a really great tool to use. So then your discussion board, after doing all those things, the topic is multicultural, anti-biased education with parents in the community. And some people were a little confused. So you always have to post by Thursday, September 7th. So you're going to have to log in at least 2 times a week. You're posting in response to the question I'm going to give you, and then you're going to log back in and respond to 2 to 3 classmates. So theoretically, if nobody posts by Thursday, then how are we ever going to have a really nice conversation about the topic at hand? It would kind of be like you show up to class in a face-to-face setting, and only one person comes on Thursday, and then on Sunday you come back to class because you meet 2 times a week and nobody knows what anybody's thinking and you can't really have a nice dialogue. So your responses are due by September 10th, which is Sunday, and that's at midnight. So I have opened up your cultural pizza assignment, which really is kind of fundamental and aligned closely with Uri Brofenbrenner's model. I'm trying to get a sense, and your classmates are trying to get a sense of, what are your influences? What are the influences at different levels in your life? And what I encourage you to do is move away from the visible things that we can see, because we really want to tap into those invisible traits, the pieces of the iceberg that are under the water, floating under the water, that are not visible to everyone. We want to get a sense of you and what that means. So as you're doing that assignment, really keep that in mind, and that'll be due Sunday, September 17th. So moving forward, let me show you kind of what we have. So here's the required readings. Here's your position statement on cultural and linguistic diversity. And this is a Brofenbrenner article. Now this one kind of scared me. I'm like, oh, it doesn't work. But all you have to do is click right here and the name website will open for you. And then you do have to use the back arrow, I believe, to get out of here. At least I did earlier. Oh... How do I get back? There we go. If we keep going, you'll notice next, here is a research paper, a PDF on Uri Brofenbrenner. Okay. And then we also have, I have a couple different readings. Here's the checklist that I'm going to ask you to review and reflect. And this is what's really telling at the bottom is, you know, to be able to earn this many points, that's an excellent attempt versus it's inappropriate. And many of our classrooms, unfortunately, are kind of inappropriate. Very appropriate in learning ways, but not appropriate in terms of being multicultural. Here's another handout on the model of human development and the ecological systems theory, where it breaks down the different systems for you. And just in case you're not a reader, I think this is next, I have a nice little video here for you as well that you can upload and watch. And it's about the history behind Mr. Brofenbrenner and what he's all about. Okay, then there'll be a separate video for you to be able to review the assignment. So if you have any questions about this week's activities, please don't hesitate to contact me at tropke@hancockcollege.edu. Have a wonderful week.